Neural net TensorFlow tutorial. My name is Ian, and today we're going to get into the chain rule multivariable, and we're going to hopefully at the end of the video understand backpropagation. So let's start with let's get a function x, y, z, and this is going to be equal x plus y multiplied by z. Now our goal is to find the partial derivatives of f with respect to x for partial of f with respect to all of our variables so we can calculate the gradient. Now in the last one we were able to just take one variable, treat everything else like a constant, but right now we have nested functions inside each other, so we can't do that. So what we need to do is use the chain rule. So what the chain rule is you might have seen this as outside in. Basically, I'm going to try and get you to think of it as back to forward. So let's draw this graph. And we get z. And this function I'm going to call g of x, y. And from here we get x and y. So we're going to try and find all the local derivatives right there. I shouldn't erase that. F. So what we're going to do is start at the back, and we're going to find all of our derivatives at each one until we get to the end. Now we'll erase it. So let's phrase this as f at g of x, y, z equals g of x, y. Okay, so now we got to find the local or the partial derivative with respect to g of x. So how do we do that? Well, we treat this as our variable and this is our constant, same like the last video. Yeah, that's probably the right way to do it. So when we do that, this gets reduced down to 1, and then we're left with z. Hopefully this like z is not bugging anyone, but I like z or z, sorry. So partial of f spect g is going to equal z. So if it helps, maybe instead of g of x, just put g. So this becomes 1, and then we're left with z. So, and vice versa, the respect to z is going to equal g. Okay. Now let's find our derivatives with respect to g. So we got g x y is going to equal x plus y. So what's the partial of g with respect to x? Well, we treat x as a variable, and that's going to turn into 1, and we're left with, we treat this like a constant, which disappears, so this is going to equal 1. And the same with y. Okay. Now, if we want to find the partial derivative of f with respect to x, what we got to do is use the chain rule. So this is the partial of f with respect to g multiplied by our partial of g with respect to x. And that is the chain rule, and that's all the calculus you need to understand backpropagation. So I kind of just did a quick overview. This isn't going to make much sense if you don't know any of these things, but if you really want to understand these concepts, I would suggest, learning the calculus behind it. So other videos, check out MIT's OpenCourseWare. They have, I wouldn't suggest doing the whole course if you just want to learn neural networks, but they have specific problems just like this, and they break it down much better than I do, and so you can understand multivariable chain rule. Also, Patrick GMT or JMT, I'm sorry, he also does some great videos, so just pick one of those, and hopefully you can understand these concepts. But right now I'm just going to take it over to the computer, and then I'm going to try and do a very skeleton version of how backpropagation works. So that's everything for the whiteboard for now.